this ecosystem, I think it'll also be interesting for you to share how you sort of help companies that are scaling and what you generally see goes wrong as these companies scale. Because I'm sure you've worked for companies that have scaled, others that have scaled and tanked, and we could learn a few lessons on what, as a third party, you saw when you worked with these companies. What did you see differently? But coming back to cycling back to the next conversation is really laying the foundation, the why, in terms of why scale. And this also comes to a point where we need to talk about our own stories. And this is an interesting part of the conversation because it lays bare where we talked about unfiltered conversations, where you really talk about your journey and where you think you are, where you think you may have derailed, if so, where you think you could derail, and also where you think you could be in the future. So I'll start with my story. My story, actually, funny enough, I started my business exactly 25 years ago to this month, March 2000. I was 25 years. And had only worked for my first employer for only 4 years. I only had one employer. I would say I was an intern and one employer. A great individual I worked for, a company where he gave me lots of autonomy at a very young age. And I would call myself an accidental founder or an accidental entrepreneur. I found myself in a bar in Carnivore in Simba Salon with a potential customer who started talking to me. And the next thing I find myself in Rwanda trying to implement for the Rwanda airline, which is now Rwanda Air, or is it Rwanda Airways? Is it Rwanda Air?
Rwanda.
Yes. Rwanda Air. Mm-hmm. Their first technology platform at a very early age of 25 years. Then you can imagine this is year 2000. Rwanda had just come out from a very challenging moment. Rwanda was almost like a small village. And going there, and I think it's the beauty of youth. And I also encourage a lot of younger people to venture into business much earlier. Because then when you looked at that country, for me, it was an opportunity. I never looked at it as, oh, this is lacking, this is not there. There was war here. I looked at it as an opportunity where many people are refusing to go there, but I was happy to go into that market because I didn't know anything better, to be honest. For me, it was great. I looked at it as an opportunity. And one project gave birth to the next project in government, in Rwanda, the next project. Funny enough, I then ventured from there to Uganda. Again, met somebody on a flight going to Dubai, who then became my partner in Uganda, a successful businessman in Uganda today. Another founder I would like actually to talk to at some point. And then eventually, funny enough, came back to Kenya. And what we did in Rwanda is what we started replicating in our markets here. So eventually, being a finance person, ended up running a technology company with a lot of technology people. There are some interesting stories going to India to look for resources in a very, very niche area where Kenyans had not built that capability then. And then building this business across multiple countries as a technology company, moving from infrastructure to larger platforms, whether it's software, whether it is platforms, representing some of the biggest brands in the country, in the world today, where we became some of the biggest players in the marketplace.